Okay, so this next chapter is comparing your life to others. And I want to start off by saying that you should not compare your life to others. At least I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend comparing your life to others. Because one, your life is not theirs. Um, you really have no idea what their life is at all because, like, you spend 24/7 with yourself, 365, and odds are, one, you probably don't even really know who you are to any major depth. And you'll never be able to see what truly goes on in someone else's life because they get to tell you whatever they want, they get to show you whatever they want, especially when it comes to this world like on Facebook and Instagram and all those things. And in the social media world, that poses its own problem because people are going to post one what they want you to see, and they're going to post in a manner as some sort of highlight reel of their life, like their best moments, which is fine and is appropriate, I think, for a lot of people because if you post all your sadness all the time and how bad your life is all the time, people are probably like going to unfollow you or unfollow your notifications or whatever, unfortunately. But also, posting about how sad you are on social media isn't really an effective way to combat that anyway, unfortunately. I wish it was. Um, Tried it, doesn't work very well. So, if you compare your life to other people and you're doing that on the internet or on social media, you get to see their life in a curated manner and in a filtered way with only information that they want you to see, whether that information is true or false. And people are going to construct an identity that is able to be seen on social media. So then they're going to post that information in a way that they think people are going to interpret in the manner that they intend people to interpret the information. So then you have to also see that information and you're going to interpret it the way you do, uh, based on your life experience and everything else. And you're going to see their life in some way and you're going to get some sort of this identity of that person in your mind and be like, oh, well, who is this person? Well, this is this person to me. This is what I see out here. That's what I'm looking at. And it's not always in social media. Like everybody doesn't have social media, but you're still going to only get information they want you to have, really, like in truth. So when you compare your life to someone else's, one, it's almost impossible to compare it to any true identity of someone else or any true version of their life. And then a lot of people also are posting their perceived identity onto their social media. And then they're comparing one perceived identity, this facade of someone they have created, to another facade of someone else that they have also created. And you're comparing two things that aren't even real and they're not really even based into truths. They are very small, very, very small, very intentionally selected elements of someone's life that is being compared to one another with different amounts of truths in either one. So you really can't compare those things because it's not real. Like you can't compare one thing to another thing, like one fake thing to another fake thing because like there's no basis for any type of of comparison there because you don't even know what you're comparing really. But I think we do that all the time. Well, this person has this car and this person has this house and this person's going here for vacation and I have $4 in my bank account or I have negative $40 in my bank account, you know, and you sit there and you constantly compare your life to other people. And I can tell you from experience, 100%, man. And everybody says this, and everybody's heard this or whatever. But it's like money can't buy happiness, and it can't. It can make you less stressed about not having money, but it doesn't. It can't, man. It can't buy happiness. It can. Well, It could probably buy happiness. It cannot buy like true peace of the soul, which I think is where like people should kind of be headed if they're feeling depressed or suicidal or anxious and all those other things. Peace is a way better emotion and way better mental state to be in, I think, than happiness, which I'm going to get into later on. But anyway, so if you compare yourself to others, or if you allow your bar to be set by your setting the bar up to someone else, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice there. Especially if you set the bar, well, this is the bar that they have set for themselves, so this is what I want to obtain. So then that's kind of the bar, and you want to climb up until you meet that bar, and then boop, that's it. That's all. Well, if I could just achieve that, then I'll be happy. Probably not. Probably won't be happy even if you achieve what you think that other person has achieved. But then you also like, what if you could have went way higher than that? And one of the ways that I learned this lesson was after my accident when I was trying to get back in the gym and all those things. I could have walked into any gym in probably the entire world and I would have been the weakest. If not the weakest, definitely one of the weakest people in the gym. I mean, I literally couldn't curl 5 pounds without it feeling like my arms were going to snap in half or bench press the bar. And I would look around at everybody in there, like 10-year-old kids were in there, just like, pumping out reps. And I'm, I can't even walk around. So I went through life for a long time just glaring and like wishing people would fall downstairs because like they were up walking around and running around like they were normal. And I was very jealous and envious of that. So I would compare myself to them constantly every time I go to the gym. And I mean, I have days where I do sometimes now, but um, you have to sit back and you have to look at facts and you have to look at truths and you have to see where you are in your life, truthfully. Because it doesn't matter where someone else is. It doesn't matter what someone else is capable of or what someone else can do or what someone else can't do. The only thing that matters is what you can do or what you can't do. And then you have to make progress on that. You have to become more from that starting point. So wherever your starting point is, man, wherever you're at in life, it's okay. Because all the crying and wishing and hoping that you were somewhere that you're not is never going to make that the reality. You are where you are. You have to start with where you have to start at. If you weigh 500 pounds and you need to lose 300 pounds or want to lose 300 pounds or whatever, that is a completely different journey than somebody has to lose 20 pounds or 50 pounds. Or if you want to run a marathon or whatever the case may be, like wherever you are in life is where you are. And focusing and fixating and spending your time looking at where other people are in their life, man, it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of energy because it has nothing to do with you. Nobody else's life, really, other than like your family if you're married and have kids or whatever, nobody else's life has anything to do with you or yours. Well, it has anything to do with your life. And you got to stop comparing yourself to everybody else. Because one, you're not them. And they are not you. They have not been through what you have been through, and you have not been through what they have been through. And fixating on how far somebody else is ahead of you is taking time away from you because you should be using that time to do something to progress in your life. Because what you see other people having, you may think that you want those things. So on your way to achieving something in your life, your vision's going to change, your perception's going to change, your perspective is going to change, and you're going to realize that that's not really what you were after anyway. But pick a direction, head towards that. Grow for you. Grow for you, and just because you see someone else do something and they tell you, well, this is what it took for me to achieve this thing, and you try to achieve the same exact thing, it is highly unlikely that it is going to take the same exact things for you to do that it took for them to do. So you may have to do way more than them to achieve what they achieved. Maybe you have to do less. Probably not. Probably not going to happen. Like, it's usually always more, you know. Um, Unfortunately, that's just the way it kind of goes. But hey, maybe. I mean, I'm an optimistic person, so maybe you got to do way less to get what what it is that they have. But it's your life, though. So live your life and stop paying so much attention to everyone else's, especially when they have nothing to do with yours. You're responsible for your life. You're responsible for where you end up. You are responsible for your happiness. You are responsible for your peace. You are responsible for your family. And don't let the world convince you that you need everything that the world convinces you that you need, tries to convince you that you need. Not really going to go into all that stuff. But we don't need nearly as much as we think we do. The more stuff that you're going out and the more vices you have and the more this and that, you're going to muddy the waters in your life, man. And you're not going to be able to see clearly because you just got so many things and you're being pulled in so many different directions. So I would try to shrink that number of things that you need, those external sources of happiness and validation and all those things. But don't compare your life to other people, man, because you can't, and their life has nothing to do with yours. The price for things is different for everybody. And if you always set the bar at what someone else has done, then you will never try to achieve higher than that. And on your way to setting that bar or meeting that standard for you, maybe figure out that thing really isn't even what you wanted anyway, that it was just the world trying to convince you that that's what you're supposed to have. And that happens a lot, a whole lot. So don't compare your life to others, because you can't. So see you on the next video.